This is Retro Sports Radio. Visit RetroSeasons.com for more sports history.
The Chicago Cubs faced the Cincinnati Reds at Riverfront Stadium for Game 2 of a Sunday doubleheader on June 8, 1975. The Cubs are managed by Jim Marshall, who was looking to improve the team from their 96-loss season in 1974. Cincinnati was managed by Sparky Anderson, and the Big Red Machine was trying to make it back to the playoffs in 1975 after finishing second place in 1974 with 98 wins. This audio recording is from Game 2 of the doubleheader, featuring Cincinnati radio broadcasters Marty Brennaman and Joe Nuxhall.
It's the Reds on Radio with Marty Brennaman and Joe Nuxhall. Reds baseball is brought to you by Stroh's Beer for 200 years, from one beer lover to another. And by the Marathon Oil Company, people who believe in people. By the Pepsi-Cola Bottling Company of Cincinnati, bottlers of Pepsi-Cola, Dr. Pepper, and Schweppes products. By Frisch's. At breakfast time, lunchtime, or any time you're hungry, there's always a Frisch's nearby. By the First National Bank of Cincinnati, the bank that adds top security to high interest on your savings. And by Riverside Ford in Newport, a block and a bridge from downtown Cincinnati. Now, for all the play-by-play action of Cincinnati Reds baseball, we go to Marty Brennaman and Joe.
Hello again, everybody, from Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. Joe Nuxhall and yours truly, Marty Brennaman, welcoming you back to the second game of the Sunday afternoon doubleheader. Cassidy House in the first game, the Reds on Johnny Bench's seventh-inning home run with Joe Morganave on board gave the Reds a 2-1 victory. Gary Nolan the winner, and right-hander Rick Rushell the tough luck loser. Here in the second game, Clay Kirby will go for Cincinnati after his fourth victory of the year. And for the Chicago Cubs, it'll be a left-hander, formerly with the Los Angeles Dodgers, and that would be Jeff Zahn. We'll be back with the second game lineups in just a moment.
There's always got to be an end to the day. There always comes a time when we go our own way. I gave it all I had, but now it ends. The show is over. Good night, my friend. Now it's time to go my homeward way. For a beer that still made the right way. It's a moment every beer lover knows. When you end your day with a stroke, from one beer lover to another, stroke.
That was Lobo for the Stroh Brewery Company, Detroit, Michigan. Family brewers for 200 years.
Okay, if you're ready now, here are the second game lineups. First, for the Chicago Cubs, their leadoff batter will be shortstop Rob Sperring. Hitting number 2 and playing left field is Champ Summers. Batting in the third slot is third baseman Bill Madlock. Hitting number 4 in center field, Rick Mundy. Andy Thornton will be at first base, batting fifth. Hitting number 6, playing right field, his first appearance in this series is Jerry Morales. Manny Trillo batting seventh and playing second base. Hitting eighth and catching, George Mitterwald. Batting number 9 and pitching for Chicago is left-hander Jeff Zahn. Again, going over the Cub batting order in the second game, it's Sperring at shortstop, Summers in left field, and Madlock at third. Mundy in center, Thornton at first base, and Morales in right. With Trillo at second, Mitterwald catching, and Zahn pitching. For the Cincinnati Reds, leading off and playing third base is Pete Rose. Batting second and playing shortstop, Dave Concepcion. Hitting third at second base, Joe Morgan. Batting number 4, playing left field, Johnny Bench. Tony Perez, the first baseman, will hit fifth. Batting number 6 in center field is George Foster. Merv Redmond will be in right field, batting number 7. Hitting eighth and catching, Bill Plummer. Batting 9 and pitching for the Reds in game number 2 is right-hander Clay Kirby. Once again for Cincinnati, it's Rose at third base, Concepcion at shortstop, and Morgan at second. Bench in left field, Perez at first base, and Foster in center. with Redmond in right, Plummer catching, and Kirby on the mound. This broadcast is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by Cincinnati Reds Incorporated solely for the entertainment of our listening audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the descriptions and accounts of this game without the express written consent of Cincinnati Reds Incorporated is prohibited. The announcers on this broadcast are employed by the Cincinnati Reds Incorporated. The Reds are on the field. Clay Kirby last out as he makes his way toward the Riverfront Stadium mound. Not only do we have a capacity house here at Riverfront Stadium this afternoon, we've got a standing room only crowd. And, Joe, they saw quite some game in number one.
Well, the way it ended up, I tell you, really a little shaky, particularly after Joe had trouble. It looked like he really lost his balance or stumbled on the ground ball by Garrett. And then Don Kessinger, who was a guy that you don't strike out and just more or less lays the bat on the ball, tries to hit it somewhere. And you have to be a little concerned, but Gary did a good job on him and got a nice soft fly ball to Geronimo at the end of the game. But both of them pitched excellent baseball. You just can't ask to see a better pitched ball game than Rick Russell worked, and of course Gary Nolan, and Rick making that one bad pitch really to Johnny Bench. And I tell you, I don't think John's going to hit him much harder than that. That was just a shot out of his ballpark, but tough loss for Rick Russell and a big win for Gary Nolan. And Gary, well, it's just amazing the way that young man can pitch. I don't think he threw 5 balls down the center of the plate all day, or it sure didn't seem that way.
As a result of the victory, the Reds have now won 15 out of their last 18 games, and they are in the 9th inning at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, with Philadelphia hanging on to a 4-2 lead over the Los Angeles Dodgers. If that game should end up in Philadelphia's favor, the Reds would have one full game edge on the Dodgers in the National League Western Division race. And, well, if Clay Kirby can jerk us a good one up here in the second game, we can make it a 1.5 lead.
Well, as we said before the game, you can't win 2 if you don't win the first one, so we got a good chance to win 2.
Manager Jim Marshall shakes things up a bit here in the second game. Kessinger sitting it out. Jose Cardinal sitting it out. He was in left field in the first game. Morales into the lineup for the first time in this series. Spearing a right-handed batter. Seen him once or twice so far in the series, batting .192. The pitch on the way from Kirby is hit hard, and Rose has it at third. Line drive that I'll tell you looked like it was headed toward left field, but Pete went down to his left and made the play on it. Guy really never ceases to amaze with his defensive work that has gotten better and better and better at third base. 1 out, and here's left fielder Champ Summers, who delivered a 9th inning pitch single off of Gary Nolan in game number 1. Summers batting .240, left-handed hitter. Got Rose playing just a bit in at third base as Kirby fires and Summers takes strike 1. Clay making his 11th appearance of the year and his 8th start. Breaking ball is hit in the air to center field. Foster drifting back, looking skyward, makes the catch, 2 away. Batter will be third baseman Bill Madlock. Oh, we congratulate the Reds director of promotion, Roger Rule, who is charged with a responsibility every time a doubleheader is played here to provide between-game entertainment. I'll tell you, we heard a group that really could lay out the sounds between games today, the East Central High School Marching Band from Brookville, Indiana.
You better say St. Leon, too.
Okay, St. Leon. You tell me to say it, I'll say it. Here's Madlock with 2 out. Batting .333, the pitch. Well, Kirby bounces one up there and away from Plummer.
That's quite an interesting story, isn't it, Marty? I think they have something around 800 students and 230 of them in the band. Must play 6-man football.
Well, they double it up a bit. 1-0 delivery, hit hard and by Concepcion. A hit to center field by Bill Madlock, who, boy, continues to swing a very, very hot bat for Chicago. He had 3 hits in the first game, and that base hit right there, his 6th. in the 4 games played here at Riverfront Stadium. So the inning extended for center fielder Rick Mundy. Mundy batting .294, has 5 homers and 25 RBIs. Madlock, short lead at first base. Kirby checking, delivers, taken high, ball 1. Defensively for Cincinnati, Perez at first, Morgan at second, Concepcion at shortstop, Rose at third. Johnny Bench in left field, George Foster in center, and Merv Retman in right. Plummer behind the plate, and the 1-0 to Mundy is swung out and missed. A ball and 1 strike. Kirby, a pitcher known for taking his time out on the mound. Coming back with a 1-1 pitch, and Mundy fouls this one over the screen behind the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, it might sound redundant, but boy, it certainly bears pointing up again how super the pitching has been for Cincinnati lately. 5 times now in the last 7 games, Red starters have gone the distance. Gary Nolan did in the first game, beating Russell and the Cubs 2-1. Mundy hits a fly ball back into right field. Retman will have room to play it. He makes the catch, and that's it for Chicago in the first inning. No runs, 1 hit. No errors with 1 man left on at the end of a half inning of play in our second game. The Cubs nothing. The Reds are coming to bat.
Hello, sunshine. Hello, Mountain Dew. With the lemon look of sunshine and a different taste that's right for you. It's fresh as sunrise. It pours like sunshine, refreshing as morning, the whole day. Hello, sunshine. Hello, sunshine. Mountain Dew, a totally different soft drink with the lemony freshness and color of sunshine. Brighten your day with Mountain Dew. Hello, sunshine. Hello, Mountain Dew.
Well, the young man charged with the responsibility of trying to get the Cubs 1 win in this 4-game series is the left-hander Jeff Zahn, 6'1", 180-pounder from Los Angeles, California. Zahn, 29 years old, acquired along with pitcher Eddie Solomon from the Dodgers on the 2nd of May for right-hander Bert Hooton. And Zahn coming into this game has won 1 and lost 2 with a .583 earned run average. And of those decisions, 2 of the 3 have been with the Cubs. He's won a game, he's lost a game, and a .521 ERA as he makes his 4th start in the Chicago uniform, does not have a complete game. He'll be facing Rose first, then Concepcion, then Morgan in the bottom of inning number 1. Here's a pitch to Pete. Swung on and fouled off to the right and out of play. Rose going 0 for 3 in the first game was hit by a pitch. He's batting .293. Zahn appearing in 21 games last year with the Dodgers, starting 10. He's 1-1 with Pete Rose. And really put together a very impressive .203 earned run average in those 21 appearances, won 3 out of 8 decisions. Now the 1-1 pitch, and that's low, ball 2, 2-1. 22 innings this season. He's given up 24 hits, has struck out 7, has had control trouble, walking 14. No score, bottom of the first, just underway in game number 2 before a standing room only house. Ground ball off the glove of Zahn, fielded by Sparing. Quick throwing onto Thornton, and Pete is out at first base. If you score our games with us, score that one 1-6-3. It hit off Zahn's glove. Sparing near second. The shortstop came up with it and got the outplay at first base. Here's Davey Concepcion, who had a 9-game hitting streak stopped in the first game, going 0 for 3. In fact, the Reds were limited to only 4 hits in game number 1, but Johnny Bench had the big one. 7th inning homer with Joe Morgan on. David, a .292 batter. Pitch. Ball one. Zahn into the windup, and David is out in front, ball two. 2-0. Well, we've got a final in on the Los Angeles-Philadelphia game, and the Phillies have beat them. Phils have scored a win over the Dodgers in Philadelphia this afternoon, so we got a 1 full game lead over the men of Walter Alston. Here's a 2-0 pitch to Concepcion. It's in for a strike just below the letters 2-1. Final score 4-2 Philadelphia. Lonborg the winner, Sutton the loser. They had 41,334 at Veterans Stadium. 2-1 pitch. Swung on and a bouncing ball to Spearing at shortstop. The throw on to first, 2 down. That'll bring up Joe Morgan. Totals in that Philadelphia win: 4 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors for the Phils, 2, 6, and 3 for L.A. Morgan batting .333. He had that all-important leadoff walk off of Russell in the 7th inning, and then Bench's home run followed. Joe with 7 homers and 32 RBIs. Jeff Zahn has gotten Rose and Concepcion on ground balls, and here's the pitch to Joe. Ball one. Defensively for the Cubs, Thornton, Trillo, Spearing, and Madlock, their infield. Summers, Mundy, and Morales left, center, and right, with Mitterwald behind the plate. Bluffs a bunt, takes ball 2, and interesting, and to all 3 batters in the first inning. Zahn has fallen behind 2-0. Behind now to Morgan with Bench on deck. Left-hander stares for the sign and delivers. Call strike. 2-1. That Philadelphia victory has capped off a very, very dismal road trip for the Los Angeles Dodgers. It may well be their worst in a couple of years. They will be limping back to L.A. to begin a homestand that will encompass 10 games. Ground ball right side and through, a base hit. The diving Andy Thornton could not come up with it. So Joe Morgan with a 2-out single to right. It brings up Johnny Bench, and he should get quite some hand. 13 home runs, 45 RBIs. He leads the National League in the home run figure and the major leagues in the RBI total. Batting .281. Morgan with both feet on the carpet at first. A pitch to Bench backs him off the plate. Well, you win some, you lose some. What can I tell you? Zahn bending at the waist to get the sign. Glances at Morgan, throws to first. Joe breaks towards second. Throw that way, hit him, and he is in safely at second base. Well, he had the gigantic lead, and Zahn threw to first. Morgan immediately broke to second base, and the throw from Thornton to the shortstop Spearing covering hit Joe in the back. That'll be scored. A stolen base for Morgan, his 25th of the year. We'll pause for station identification of the Reds Baseball Network.
The home of the $5,000 button, WLW Cincinnati. Lots of pre-game fun awaits Cincinnati Reds fans on Farmers Night at Riverfront Stadium. The Reds meet the Padres Saturday, June 28th on Farmers Night.
Joe Morgan in scoring position at second base with 2 down. The 1-0 to Bench. Check swing, slow hit, ground ball left side. Madlock cuts in front of Spearing. Running throw, got him, and the side retired. No runs, 1 hit. 1 man is left, and through 1 complete. It's the Reds nothing and the Cubs nothing.
Josephine, I'm home.
Well, it's about time, Napoleon. Say, what are you hiding under your coat? Persia? Constantinople?
No.
A loaf of French bread, maybe? What is it?
A new toaster.
A new toaster. We don't need a new toaster.
Listen, Josephine, I got it free for opening a savings account at the bank across the boulevard, and all I had to do was deposit $5,000.
You call $5,000 for a toaster free, Napoleon? Sometimes I think you're short on brains, too. You've got to look hard for the right bank, one with the services we need, with plenty of security, nice people, and a good, solid reputation. And you want to chuck all that for a new toaster?
It seemed like a good idea at the time.
Yeah, so did Waterloo.
At First National Bank of Cincinnati, we don't give away toasters or frying pans or premiums of any kind because our business is banking. Pure and simple.
First National Bank.
No score as we go to the top of the second inning in our second game. It'll be Andy Thornton, the Chicago first baseman, to start things off against Clay Kirby, who, after getting the first 2 men out of the opening inning, reached for a single to center by Billy Madlock, but retired Monday on a fly ball to right field. Game still in progress in New York. The Atlanta Braves leading the New York Mets 6-1 through 5.5 innings of play. Atlanta coming up with 5 big ones in the 5th inning and 1 more in the 6th. They drove Tommy Hall out with that 5-run 5th. Rod Gilbert had a home run, his first of the year in the 5th inning with nobody on for Atlanta. Texas scoreless in the top of the 1st in Game 2 at Cleveland after the Indians won the first game 3-2 behind rookie Eric Rach. Pitch on the way to the plate, and it swung on and popped foul. No play for Bill Plummer. Kirby with the strike one delivery. That is up high, a fastball, 1-1. On deck for Chicago, right fielder Jerry Morales. Kirby throws, and Thornton takes a strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Reds outfield straight away for Andy Thornton, who's batting .338. Kirby shaking off Bill Plummer's sign, looking again, shakes it off again, now nods ahead, yes. And the pitch, high and tight. 2 balls and 2 strikes. In the 9th inning at Montreal, the Padres hold a 5-2 lead with Joe McIntosh on the mound, and in the 5th, the Cardinals have a 2-1 edge on Houston. Swung on and hit very high into left center field. Concepcion back. Foster coming in, and Davey makes the catch for the first out. Jerry Morales will be at the plate, and as we mentioned earlier, Morales has not seen any action at all in this series prior to this plate appearance now. He hit by a pitch on Thursday against the San Francisco Giants, and as a result was not a starter in any of the first 3 games here. Morales batting .278. Pitch to him from Kirby, below the knees, ball 1. Morales this season has 1 home run and 22 runs batted in. Swung on, fly ball center field. Hit pretty well. Foster still backing, reaches up and makes the catch. So 2 out for Manny Trillo. Trillo carries a .253 batting average into our second game. He's playing both ends. He, Thornton, Mundy. Swing and a miss. In the American League in the 8th, Minnesota and Boston are tied a run apiece. Baltimore leads Kansas City in the 8th inning, 1-0. The Yankees a 2-0 lead over Chicago in the 8th. Strike 2 call. Minnesota at California. About to get underway. Jim Colburn for the Brewers against Ed Figueroa. And not yet underway. Detroit at Oakland. Coleman against Holtzman. 2 out here in the second, no score. Strike 2 pitch. Check swing on a pitch inside. Nitterwall, the Chicago catcher, on deck. Kirby throws, and that just misses the outside edge. The count is even at 2-2. In case you just joined us, the Reds took the first game 2-1. Now trying to sweep the Cubs in this 4-game set. Line drive, left center field. Johnny Bench there. He makes the catch, and the side retires. 3 up, 3 down for Chicago. They're fate in the second, and that.
From one beer lover to another, the Stroh Brewery Company, Detroit, Michigan.
The third and final businessmen's special for 1975 is coming up June 18th when the Reds meet the Atlanta Braves. The 12:30 afternoon game is a great opportunity for groups to get together for a trip to the ballpark. For all the details about bonuses extended to groups of 30 or more, contact the Reds Group Sales Office. By the way, the June 18th businessmen's special is also a Senior Citizens Day. Make your plans now and get your tickets in advance. Tony Perez, opening our second, takes a ball from Jeff Zahn, the left-hander. Tony batting .215, swings and hits a line shot over the glove of Spearing. A base hit left center. Quickly up, bobbling the ball is left fielder Champ Summers, but Tony settles for a leadoff base hit. Perez marking his return to the Reds lineup for the first time in 13 days. The starting lineup in the first game, and comes through with his first hit in this twin bill. George Foster coming plateward. Reds have now found the mark twice against Zahn for base hits. Foster hitting .281, 9 homers, 17 RBIs. Zahn looking, checking Perez, pitching. 4-1. Tom Engel behind the plate in our second game with Harry Wendelstedt at first, Dutch Renard at second base, and Doug Harvey at third. 1-0 delivery to Foster, hit down the left field line, but curving foul. Ball and a strike to George Foster with Tony Perez at first, nobody out. We play baseball in the second inning. Inside, 2-1. Well, the Giants beating the Pirates in the first game of the doubleheader at Pittsburgh today means that the Cubs don't lose any more ground. They still remain a game back. 3 balls, 1 strike to George Foster. Cubs are now 28-24. Pittsburgh 27-21. The New York Mets, if they can pick up a win, actually the Mets can move to within a half game of the top spot today. 3-1 on the way to Foster, and a check swing foul to the screen. While in our division, we're 33-22. The Dodgers are 33-24. They've lost 2 more games than we have now. And they're a full game back. 3-2 pitch. Perez goes. It swung on and fouled off Foster's left foot, rolling along the third baseline, where it's picked up by Coach Alex Gramis. Zahn appears to be quite happy being with the Chicago Cubs. He simply got lost in the shuffle in L.A. Used sporadically by Walter Alston, a sometime starter, a sometime reliever, and getting a chance to get fairly regular work with Jim Marshall's club. See if Perez goes here. 3-2 the count, and Jeff Zahn will throw that way before delivering to the plate. Now the 3-2 pitch. Perez goes, swung on, foul back again. Tony checking things out with Alex Gramus as he returns to first base. Outfield straight away for Foster. Infield a double play depth. 3-2 pitch. Perez on the move. That's ball 4 outside. So we've got 2 men on with nobody out, and Merv Retman coming up. Tell you, his last 2 times to the plate, 8th inning double off the wall and left last night, and a single in the first game today after coming on in the 8th inning to play right field. He's hit the ball very, very hard. Merv batting .216, no home runs, and 5 runs batted in. Playing right field in our second game and has a chance to get us on the board against Zahn and the Cubs. He hits a very high fly ball. He just missed that pitch. Shallow left field, Summers under and makes the catch. 1 away. Here's Bill Plummer. Plummer batting .063 has been to the plate a total of 716 times with 1 hit and 1 run batted in, playing in his 11th game of the season. Perez leading at second base. Foster off the bag at first. No score in the home second inning. Pitch. 4-1. Tomorrow night, the Pittsburgh Pirates coming in for the first time. A couple of left-handers throwing in that game. Freddie Norman against Jerry Royce. They matched wits last Wednesday night at Three Rivers, and I'm sure you remember that game. The Pirates won it 2-1. Reds not getting a hit until the 7th off Royce. Here's a foul ball out of play. 1-1 the count. So they will be going in the series opener tomorrow night beginning at 8:05, and on Tuesday night, Pat Darcy will get the call against Sutton Sam McDowell. Don Gullett opening up the Cardinal series here on Wednesday night. From Jeff Zahn to Bill Plummer, a ball and 1 strike. Pitch, grounded foul outside of third and on into the Chicago dugout. Strike 2. Perez opening the inning with a base hit. Foster getting a walk. Retman with a fly ball to left. Zahn throwing, and Plummer checks his swing on a pitch down and away. 2-2. Zahn with a long look in now steps off the pitching rubber. Plummer steps away from the plate. Now batter and pitcher ready to go again. Count even at 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 man out. Plummer checks it. Fastball high and a full count. We pointed out Zahn has had some control trouble, having walked 14 batters in 24 innings prior to today's start, and has already issued a walk here in the second to Foster. Blake Kirby is on deck. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Runners stay. It's swung out and a base hit center field. Here comes Perez rounding third, heading toward the plate. Mundy back to the infield to throw to second. And with Perez in, the Reds take a 1-0 lead. Base hit center field by Bill Plummer, scoring Tony Perez. Foster to second, holding there. A 1-0 Reds lead, and now Clay Kirby will probably be up there trying to get both into scoring position for the next batter up, Pete Rose. Second RBI of the year for Bill Plummer. The Reds get on the board first. Madlock looking for the bunt at third base. Zahn has been touched for a hit, a walk, and a hit with one man down. Kirby squares, bunts through it, strike one. Milwaukee, California underway at the Big A in Anaheim. No score after a half inning. Thornton also in at first base. Zahn readies himself. Kirby bunts foul, and it's 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, a run home. Kirby not having any success at all on Zahn's first 2 pitches and getting the runners advanced. Now Madlock backing up a bit at third base. Now starts in, as is Thornton. And that ball is popped up in the air, bunted. It's fielded by the third pitcher. He sees Foster not going anywhere. He had pretty much given Foster third base when he fielded that bunt on a hop. But seeing that Foster had not come to third, he simply threw on to Madlock to get the force play. George, of course, having to hold up to see whether or not that ball might be caught in the air.
Well, George might have been sort of blocked from the ball, Marty. The angle that Zahn was between the ball and Foster, and quite possibly George really couldn't see the ball bounce, is the only thing I can think of, because the first thing he wanted to do was go back to second when Zahn had the ball.
So 2 men out. As Foster is forced at third base, 1-5. Here's Pete Rose, who had a smash back up the middle in the first inning, deflected by Zahn, and Pete was thrown out by the shortstop, Sperring. The pitch to Rose is high and inside as he spins around and out of there. Rose walking around at the plate, talking to Bob Engel and George Mitterwald. Rose, of course, hit by a pitch in the first game by Rick Rushell in the bottom of the first inning. Two men on, 2 men out, a run in. 2 balls, no strikes. Zahn to the rosin bag. Now sights a sign for Mitterwald. And his 2-0 pitch is swung on and hammered foul. Off to the right and out of play. After this homestand, we'll be in Chicago Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for single games against the Cubs. 2:30 on Friday afternoon, a 2:15 start Saturday, 2:15 start Sunday. We'll then be back in for 3 against Atlanta. Go on the road for 6 dates, Houston and Atlanta. Ground ball left side. The shortstop delivers on to the second baseman for the force out that ends the inning. But the Reds get 1 run on 2 hits. We leave 2 men on base, and at the end of 2, the Reds 1, the Cubs nothing.
Stop and enjoy a big boy, a Double Deck hamburger treat. The national favorite, coast to coast, so stop and enjoy a big boy.
Watching the Reds win at Riverfront Stadium has always been a great way to spend the day. And one sure way to add to that enjoyment is going to Frisch's before or after the game. It's all part of the tradition. Why Frisch's? Because not only does Frisch's offer a wide variety of great tasting treats from sandwiches to full course dinners, they also have the convenience of curb service. When you drive into Frisch's, there is never any waiting for curb service. You simply press the button on the speaker and your order is taken immediately. Fast, easy, and convenient. That's the best way to describe Frisch's curb service. So the next time you're on your way to the game, curb your appetite. Visit your nearest Frisch's drive-in restaurant.
Stop and enjoy a big boy, a double Jack hamburger treat. The national favorite, coast to coast, so stop and enjoy a big boy.
Clay Kirby and the Reds leading 1-0 as we move to the top of the third inning. George Mitterwall, the Chicago catcher, and number 8 batter to start it off. And here with the action is Joe.
All right, Marty. Mitterwall with a .290 batting average, a couple of home runs, and 10 RBI. The Reds scoring a run in the second inning. Tony Perez single, a walk to Foster, and a single by Bill Plummer to center to score Perez from second base with a 1-run in the game. Clay Kirby making his 8th start of the year. Reds winning the first one 2-1. A fine pitchers battle with Gary Nolan and Rick Russell. All right, Mitterwall steps in to lead off the third for Chicago. Mitterwall, Zahn, and Sperring due up here in the inning. Mitterwall swings the first pitch and pops it foul. Rose chasing it, and Plummer chasing it over to the Cubs dugout, and that drops in the seats behind the Cubs dugout. 0-1. Reds and the Pirates tomorrow night, 8:05 game time. Kirby the 0-1 to Mitterwall. That's a breaking ball. It's just high. 1-1. Dodgers losing to the Phillies 4-2. 1-1 delivery. That's up high. Another breaking ball, and the count goes to 2 balls to strike. Jeff Zahn on deck. Well, he has a sign from Bill Plummer, and the 2-1 on the way. High and inside. 3-1 the count. Mitterwall looks to Irv Noren, the Chicago third base coach, gets the sign. Kirby checking in with Plummer, and the 3-1 on the way. That's ball 4, up high, and first walk issued by Clay Kirby. Mitterwall leading off here in the third. Pitcher Jeff Zahn to the plate. Zahn has been up 5 times this year without a base hit. Mitterwall leads at first. Rose in shallow at third. The stretch, the pitch, Zahn squares the bunt and fouls it straight back and into the seats. 0-1. Standing room only crowd this afternoon, and hoping for a sleep of the doubleheader for the Reds. The 0-1's on again, squares the bunt, does first base side. Perez up, he'll throw to Morgan covering at first base, and moving on to second, George Mitterwall. Play going 3-4 on Zahn. Credit Zahn with a sacrifice. 1 away, and Rob Sperring steps in. Sperring led off the game with a bullet that Pete Rose took off to his left at third base. Sperring a 185 batting average. Set 1 RBI. Kirby sets, delivers, and Sperring takes under the knees a ball. Champ Summers waiting on deck with 1 out. 1-0 delivery. Strike called. Fastball gets the inside corner. 1-1. Outfield straight away to Sperring. Kirby ready. And the 1-1 on the way. Swung on and missed. A slider away. Kirby a ball, 2 strikes with Rob Sperring. Mitterall with a good lead at second. The 1-2. That's just high, a breaking ball, and Kirby wanted that. Count evens at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, a week from Thursday, the Reds will be playing their top farm club, the Indianapolis Indians, at Indianapolis. Here's the 2-2. Sperring swings and fouls a breaking ball. Count holding at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Morgan and Mitterall talking down at second base, and I think David had ideas of maybe just slipping in behind George with his attention to Morgan. 2-2 the count. Kirby to the belt and delivers, and Sperring swings, shot at Pete Rose. So I guess Rob better start trying somebody else out. That's twice he's lined hard to Rose at third base. 2 away now, and Champ Summers steps in. Summers hit a fly ball to Foster in center field in the first inning. Summers a left-handed batter, a .231 batting average. Kirby the stretch, delivers to Summers. That's a strike at the knees on the inside corner. Summers has had 2 RBIs, a double, a triple. Mitterall at second with 2 away. Reds leading 1-0. Kirby back to the plate. Summers swings and fouls straight back. A play quickly on front of Summers. No balls, 2 strikes. Well, you'd have to say a slow worker. Looks into Plum. Shakes off a sign, shakes another off. Still looking, and now Summers backs away from the plate. Kirby shakes 1, 2 signs off, now asks for time and wants Plummer to come to the mound. Plummer looks up at the scoreboard and sees the count going 2, so, well, we don't know. Plummer talking with Kirby still at the mound. Now Bob Engel heads out and the meeting breaks up. Play is no balls, 2 strikes with Summers and Mitterall at second base. All right, Clay checking in with Plummer. Now the stretch. The 0-2 delivery. That swung on and hit into center field. George Foster coming in a couple of steps. He has it, and that's it. In the inning for the Cubs, no runs, no hits, no errors. 1 runner left on base. And at the middle of the third, the Reds 1, the Cubs nothing.
Hal Lee's been skiing up on Mount Olyeska for about 5 years now. Some of the time it's for fun, but a lot of the time it's just to be there in case somebody needs some help. Harold's good at snow rescue work, which is what it takes to be a national ski patrolman around Anchorage, Alaska. Harold's got what it takes because he's not only a fine skier, but also because he's taken his time to learn emergency first aid, too. Something the skiers up on Mount Olyeska are mighty glad he did. Harold Lee doesn't have to spend so much of his free time up on a mountain, but he wants to because he believes in people. Hal Lee's also a full-time employee of Marathon Oil Company, Production Division, Anchorage, Alaska.
Marathon is people just like you, and just like me, who believe in people.
Marathon Oil Company, people who believe in people.
The Reds coming to bat in the third inning. Before they do, we'll pause for station identification. This is the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network.
The home of the $5,000 button, WLW Cincinnati. Purchase your Cincinnati Reds tickets downtown at 580 Walnut and at the stadium, at Burkhart's in Kenwood, Tri-County, Beachmont, Hyde Park, and Northgate, and at Home Federal Savings in Western Hills.
Dave Concepcion to lead it off in the third for the Reds. Dave had his 9-game hitting streak stopped in the first game, going 0 for 3. Jeff Zahn ready to go to work to Concepcion, and his first pitch is down low, a ball. David in the first inning grounded to Sperring at shortstop. A .290 batting average for Concepcion. Zahn works. David takes a strike. Fastball, 1-1. Concepcion, Morgan, and Bench due up here in the third. Zahn into the wind and delivers. And Concepcion swings and pops it up foul down the right field line. Andy Thornton chasing it, makes a nice play. With his back to the infield and on the run, makes the catch. A fine defensive play by Chicago first baseman Andy Thornton for the first out in the third, and Joe Morgan steps in. Joe singled in the first inning and was actually picked off at first base, but did not break stride, went on to second, and Thornton's throw hitting Joe in the back, and they credited Morgan with a stolen base, his 25th of the year. Zahn works, and Morgan takes it inside a ball. One ball, no strikes to Joe Morgan. Zahn delivers up high, and it's 2-0. Reds have had 3 hits off Zahn, and he's walked one, walking Foster in the second inning when the Reds got their 1 run. Zahn's 2-0 delivery, and Morgan takes this one also inside. 3 balls, no strikes. Johnny Bench on deck. Zahn has the sign. The 3-0. Morgan takes a strike at the knees in the inside corner. 3-1. Zahn's 3-1 delivery. Morgan looks at that one inside, ball 4. Second walk issued by Jeff Zahn. So Morgan's at first base. On for the second time in the game, and Johnny Bench steps in. Zahn hit a little check swing bouncer that Bill Madlack charged and threw him out on for the third out in the first inning. Now Andy Thornton is over to the mound to talk with Zahn. Well, that first game, the 2-1 victory for the Reds, the 23rd one-run game the Reds have played this year. And we were talking to some of the Cub players during batting practice today, and we told them that, and they couldn't believe it. First pitch to Bench is high and outside a ball, so Morgan with a good lead at first base. He has both feet on the carpet. Zahn the stretch and throws over there, and Morgan steps back. A ball, no strikes to Bench. John with his 13th home run of the year in the first game to win it for the Reds. Now has 45 RBI and a .280 batting average. He swings and misses a high fastball, 1-1. Reds leading 1-0 here in the second game. A ball, a strike, the count to bench is on the stretch, throws over to first, and Morgan is back standing. Tony Perez kneels on deck. Now, this game is far from the pace of the first game. Again, a throw to first base, and Morgan steps back. First game played in 2 hours and 1 minute. But this one, not quite the same pace. Again, a throw to first base, and again, Morgan is back. So Zahn paying a lot of attention. Another throw over there, almost picked Andy Thornton off that time. So Jeff paying a lot of attention to Morgan. Here's the pitch. Up high to bench. 2-1. Zahn to the belt. The 2-1 delivery. Swung on and missed. Count evens 2-2. John looking into middle wall. Has his sign, the stretch. And up. Joe again with a big lead. Sign the stretch, and the pitch. Morgan does not go, and the pitch is swung on and fouled to the screen by Bench. Well, how about number 14? A little excitement around the orchard. Ben swings and misses. Morgan goes, but they don't get him. And Joe is in with a stolen base. And for Morgan, that is number 25. They got number 26. 26 stolen bases now for Morgan in 31 attempts. Ben striking out. For Zahn, his first strikeout. Stepping in is Tony Perez. Tony singled in the second inning leading off and scored on the base hit by Bill Plummer. Zahn ready. Delivers to Perez inside with a slider. Tony in the first game of the doubleheader was 0 for 3. 7 home runs and 31 RBIs for Perez. Outfield playing Tony straight away. Zahn delivers, and Perez takes a strike this time on the outside corner to knees. 1-1. Dodgers losing, and the Reds now a full game up on Los Angeles, and a chance to make it a game and a half with a win here in the second of the doubleheader. 1-1 on the way. Perez swings, hits it into right center field. That'll play in for a base hit. Here comes Morgan. He'll score, and it's a 2-0 ball game, and Perez is 2 for 2. Well, Tony Perez lining one into right center field for Tony, his 32nd RBI of the year. Hit number 4 off Jeff Zahn. Morgan scoring from second base, and of course, Joe with a big steal of second on the strikeout of Johnny Bench. And we're going to have activity in the Cub bullpen. Eddie Watt heads on to throw. George Foster swings on the first pitch, pops it up. Bill Matlack in the Cub bullpen has room and makes the play. The Reds are out, but we pick up a run on a base hit. There were no errors, 1 runner left on base, and at the end of 3, the Reds 2, the Cubs nothing.
Welcome once again to You Bet Your Balance, the ever-popular game show that asks the question, is free checking really free? And now say hello to our contestant for the day. Hello, sir.
Hi there.
You have free checking, right?
Right.
No service charge, no charge per check, right?
Right.
And to get free checking, you had to come up with a big chunk of money for your minimum balance, right?
Right.
Now think carefully. Can you use your minimum balance?
You're not supposed to.
Right. What happens if you do?
I have to pay a service charge.
Right. And now the biggie, all things considered, is free checking really free?
Well, it's...
Time's up.
Oh.
Three innings totals. The Cubs, no runs, a hit, no errors. The Reds, 2 runs, 4 hits, and no errors. Bill Madlock will lead it off for Chicago in the 4th, and back with the action, Marty Brenneman.
Reds have had trouble getting Madlock out in this series. He's had a hit his first time up today, and he'll be leading it off, as Joe said, here in the top of the 4th inning. In the American League today, Jim Palmer pitched a one-hitter against the Kansas City Royals as the Orioles prevail 1-0 in that game. Baltimore getting only 4 hits off of Steve Busby. Palmer is 9th win, Busby 7-5 on the year. Madlock, Rick Mundy, and Andy Thornton is how they'll line up. Inning number 4 against Clay Kirby, who has given up only the first inning single by Madlock, has walked a batter, no strikeouts. Clay throws, and Madlock takes outside. Ball 1. Right-hander checking. He delivers. That swung on, bounced over the head of Rose into left field for a base hit. So Bill Madlock continues to wield the hot bat for the Cubs. That's his second hit today. Second hit in the game for Chicago. Be more precise, a 5th hit today for Mr. Madlock, what with the 3 in the first game. Here's Rick Mundy at a fly ball that drove Rentman back just a couple of steps shy of the warning track in the first inning. Rick batting .292. Kirby ready with the pitch, and it swung on and missed. Well, he just played good old-fashioned hardball with that one. Reds infield, a double play depth. And the sunglasses start to come out in full force now. They head toward that treacherous time of the day when the sun starts to set. 0-1 delivery. Swung on and popped up. Outside of third, heading toward the seats. Rose joined by Davey, but no play. Coming into today's games, the Reds were 97,487 ahead of last year's record-breaking attendance base. After the first 23 home dates this season, 604,202 prior to today for an average of 26,270, and we have standing room only for the doubleheader this afternoon. 2 strikes to count, the pitch. Foul ball, out of play. Two nothing, Cincinnati out in front, a run in the second on a base hit by Bill Plummer, scoring Tony, and then Perez driving in the second run in the last inning, getting Morgan in from second base. Madlock at first, nobody out in the 4th. Swung on, grounder foul between the bag and the coaching box at first. Count stays, 2 strikes. Andy Thornton on deck, Rick Mundy at the plate, Billy Madlock on at first. Kirby getting his act together mentally on the mound, checking in with Plummer. Pitching. Popped up, shallow left field. Concepcion backing on it, calling, and he makes the catch. 1 away. That'll bring up Andy Thornton, who popped out to Davey as a leadoff batter in the second inning. The Reds Radio Network brings Reds baseball to fans in 6 states. You can hear Reds games in Maysville, Kentucky on WFTM, in Hillsboro, Ohio on WSRWFM, and in Knoxville, Tennessee on WETE. Thornton batting .333. Checking his swing, and it cost him strike 1. Kirby starting this game in some fast company, what with the way the Reds starting pitching has been the last week. Done a good job so far. The big overhand breaking ball does not break. Stays up head high to Andy Thornton, the ball, 1 strike. In fact, the Cubs have scored a run in each of the first 3 games here and have had a total in 3 games of only 18 hits, 5 Friday, 5 Saturday, 8 first game today. High and inside, ball 2, and Thornton looks quickly out toward the mound. That was a fastball in on him. Now he walks away from the plate. Kirby has fallen behind to the Chicago first baseman. 2 balls, 1 strike. Gave up a base hit to Madlock to start the inning. Monday has popped out to David. Cincinnati outfield just shaded a bit around toward left. Thornton waiting. He takes outside. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. Kirby throws, and that is strike 2 on the inside corner. So the Cubs down by 2 here in the 4th inning. Let's see what Madlock's going to be doing. A 3-2 count on Andy Thornton. Nobody out, or rather 1 out in the inning. Kirby staring intently in as Madlock gets a short lead. Now inches away just a bit further from the bag at first base. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. He's going. It is swung on and fouled out of the mid of Bill Plummer. So the count stays at 3 balls, 2 strikes. In the National League through 7, the Cardinals lead the Astros 4-1. Reggie Smith's had a homer in that game with a man aboard. Interesting to note that with the Cardinals picking up Willie Davis, he has been playing right field lately with Reggie Smith on at first to give the Cardinals some additional offensive punch. Davis with a couple of hits last night. We'll be seeing them on Wednesday. Well, Kirby, after getting the sign from Plummer, came set, stepped off the rubber, and Madlock quickly back into the bag. Three-two pitch. It's on the way, and Madlock stays this time. It's ball 4 inside. So Thornton gets a second walk that Kirby has given up. The Cubs have him at first and second base for the right fielder, Jerry Morales. Only time up in the second at a fly ball to Foster in center field. Now let's have a hard one-hopper to Concepcion. 2 men on, 1 man out. Here's a fly ball hammered back into deep left center field. Back is the bench on the warning track. He leaps up and cannot catch it. It hits off the fence. Foster quickly up with the ball. Here's a run home as Madlock scores the first Cub run. A double to left field by Jerry Morales. And it's 2-1 Cincinnati as Thornton goes to third. That ball missed getting out of here by about 3 feet. Bench made a leaping attempt at the fence in left center field, and Foster, credit him with making a fine play. He came over from center, took that ball off the fence, and got the throw quickly back into the infield. But the Cubs have scored. They're a run down. They've got 2 in scoring position, and Pedro Bourbon will begin to loosen up in the Cincinnati bullpen. Really looked like that ball was going to get out of here when it left the bat. So Kirby rolling along pretty well in the first 3 innings, has run into problems here in the 4th. He's going to be facing Manny Trillo. Runners at second and third. The pitch to him is swung on and shot foul. Trillo trying to go the other way with that pitch away from him. Bourbon loosening up, and we're going to get further activity in the Cub bullpen as Eddie Watt starts to throw. getting down toward the tail end of the Chicago order. 1 ball, 1 strike to Trillo. Kirby's next pitch is fouled just off the end of the bat. Strike 2, 1-2. Concepcion in from shortstop to have a quick word with Kirby. Thornton leading at third base. At second, Jerry Morales, who has just doubled across the first Chicago run. Kirby throws, pitch swung on, a looper into left center field. That is going to fall for a hit. In to tie it up, and here comes Foster's throw to the plate as Andy Thornton with Morales going to third. A ball hit off the end of the bat by Trillo. Run scoring single, and the Cubs have tied it up at 2-2. Third Chicago hit in the inning. Now George Mitterwald, the number 8 batter, who drew a walk leading off the last inning against Kirby. Kirby delivers, swung on, a base hit left field. In from third, Jerry Morales, and Chicago leads at 3-2. Clay Kirby has gone completely bananas here in the 4th inning. Chicago base hits ringing out, and they have scored 3 times. Still only 1 man has been retired. And now Sparky Anderson is on his way to the mound, and that may well be all for Clay Kirby this game. The call has gone down for right-hander Pedro Bourbon, and I'll tell you, Kirby went downhill right now. So Bourbon making his way out of the Reds bullpen. We've got a break in the action here in the Chicago 4th inning, and we'll step out for this message.
Hello, Gene Lehman, Riverside Ford. The Ford business at Riverside Ford has just been tremendous. And folks, during the month of June, we have ordered in some extra Granadas, Pintos, and Mustangs. We have a tremendous sale going on. As always, you can save a lot of money. But I guess the best news that we can give you is during the month of June on these cars, we're going to extend the warranty to 24 months or 24,000 miles. As you probably know, the normal new car warranty is 12 months or 12,000 miles. But Riverside Ford is doubling the warranty. Yes, 24 months or 24,000 miles on a new Granada, Pinto, or Mustang. We have them in many colors, all types of equipment, air-conditioned cars, V8, automatics, power steerings, you name it, we have it. 100 of these cars are on sale. You can double the warranty. Get a double warranty, get the best deal, get the best Ford service. If you're looking for a tremendous deal, you want to come to Riverside Ford. We're a block and a bridge from downtown Cincinnati. We'll see you tomorrow.
Well, we've talked so many times about the fine science of pitching and what creates a situation whereby a guy all of a sudden loses it, and conversely, all of a sudden finds it in a given game. Today, it was on the negative side for Clay Kirby. He went through the first 3 innings, giving the Cubs only 1 hit. All of a sudden, here in the 4th inning, the roof caved in on him. A single by Matlock, a 1-out walk to Thornton, a double off the wall in left field by Morales got a run home. A single by Trillo made it 2-2, and a base hit by Mitterwald made it 3-2 Chicago. And now we're looking at right-hander Pedro Bourbon. Making his 22nd appearance of the year, Pete has won 2, lost 1 with a 3.97 earned run average. And as he comes out of our bullpen, right-hander Raleigh Eastwick begins to throw down there. Jeff Zahn at the plate. Rose looking for the bunt, and here it is. Third base side, Bourbon is up. He throws on to first. Morgan covering to get the out as the runners move along. Score at 2-4 on the Jeff Zahn sacrifice, and we go back to the top of the order for shortstop Rob Sperring. He's lined to third twice in this game. Three runs in. Runners at second and third, 2 out. Fly ball, right field, hit well. Redmond digging toward the line, and it's going to be a foul ball. Well, the young Chicago shortstop hit that ball well the other way, but just foul. The paid attendance today, 50,311. Bringing the total attendance for this series to 135,681, the largest series attendance in Reds history in April, May, or June. That ain't bad. Petey with the 0-1 delivery. Line drive, right field. Redmond will make a diving catch. What a fine defensive play by Merv Redmond as he went sprawling on the AstroTurf, made the catch and hung on to save 2 runs in an inning. They give him a standing ovation because it was quite some play by the Reds right fielder. The Cubs get 3 runs on 4 hits. They leave 2 men on base, and in the middle of the 4th, Chicago 3 and Cincinnati 2.
The folks at the Stroh Brewery want to remind you that it's Stroh a party time. And they also want to give you a free recipe on how to Stroh a party. So, here goes. First, get yourself some good music like this. Next, add some good friends and neighbors. Spread around some good snacks like potato chips, pretzels, things your friends like, or be different and surprise them with something new and good. Then top everything off with plenty of good cold Stroh's beer. That's the important part. Blend it all together, and you've got yourself one great party. Keep this in mind the next time you're out shopping, and look for the Stroh Party display featuring our Stay Cold 12-pack wherever you buy beer. And we'll see you at the party. The Stroh Brewery Company, Detroit, Michigan.
Banner Day is coming up Sunday, June 29th. The Reds meet the Padres in a big doubleheader, and the 4th annual parade of banners will take place between games. Everybody is encouraged to enter the competition and join the fun. Rules are simple. Banners must be carried by not more than 2 persons. They must have a baseball theme and must be in good taste. A $250 cash prize goes to the winning banner. There will be additional cash prizes for runners-up. For more details, call or write the Reds office. Start making your plans and get to work on your banner soon. Well, as is the case more often than not, the man who made the big defensive play is first up in the inning. Merv Redmond with a fly ball to right field. Morales will catch that ball. Well, that was not quite the catch that Redmond made on Spearing's line drive, but still a pretty good play. Redmond retired on a line drive to right field. Here's Bill Plummer. Cubs are leading 3-2 for Jim Zahn in the home 4th inning here in Cincinnati. Plummer had our RBI base hit to center field in the 2nd inning. So the Cubs up by a run. They were leading by a run, 1-0, up until the 7th inning of the first game. There's ball 1 inside. Bench's home run turned it around, gave Gary Nolan his 5th straight victory. 1-0 pitch. Foul pop off the end of the bat. No play for Andy Thornton. Here's a pitching line on Clay Kirby. 3 1/3 innings. He gives up 5 hits, 3 runs, all earned. Walks 2 hitters. Raleigh Eastwick still throwing in our bullpen. Corbone is on deck. The 1-1 pitch. Check swing ground ball to first base. Thornton has it. He'll get the out himself. 2 down. We'll pause for station identification on the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network.
The home of the $5,000 button, WLW Cincinnati. You'll find some great Father's Day gift ideas in every price range when you visit the Cincinnati Reds 580 Gift Shop, corner of 6th and Walnut, downtown Cincinnati.
Bourbon with 2 down and nobody on will come on and hit for himself. Pitch low and into him. Ball 1 from Jeff Zahn. Pedro's been up 7 times, has had a hit. Zahn trying to retire the side in order for the first time in this game. There's a strike at the knees to the bluffing bunter Bourbon, 1-1. 3 runs, 5 hits the Cubs, 2 runs, 4 hits the Reds. Ball 2 is high. Reds got a run in the second, another in the third. The Cubs sending 8 batters to the plate, scoring 3 times off Kirby in the 4th inning. Ground ball on a big hop to the second baseman. Now the pitcher covers and gets there in time. Heads up play by Jeff Zahn. He got off that mound very quickly because Andy Thornton gave indication he was going to play the ball, saw that he couldn't. It was taken instead by Trillo, and on the throw to Zahn, Bourbon is retired. 3 out, 3 down, and through 4 complete. It's Chicago 3 and our Reds 2.
If it's a big boy you're hungry for, Fresh is gonna open their door. It's a big and got to be fresh.
What has 2 large beef patties, cheese, lettuce, and our own special sauce, and is served with French fries and creamy coleslaw. You're right, the big boy platter, and you'll find it only at Frisch's.
Cause Frisch's has so much more to carry home something good to eat. Frisch's service is complete. A pretty girl and a big boy. They dining in your car of joy. If it's your family you want to treat, come on and sit down and come see the good people at Frisch's. The Frisch's has much more. Come see the good people at Frisch's. The Frisch's has so much more.
Pedro Bourbon getting ready to work his first inning in this game, and he'll be facing Champ Summers, the Chicago left fielder and number 2 batter. Summers the only man who did not bat in that 3-run Chicago 4th inning, and they lead by a run, 3-2. 0 for 2 in the game with 2 fly balls to center field. Talking about the attendance for this series and this game, the season's paid attendance total now is 654,513 for Cincinnati, well ahead of last year's pace. Pass ball delivered inside. 1-0 pitch, swung on and bounced to second. Morgan has it. He throws to Tony, 1 away. There's Bill Madlock working on a perfect second game. 2 times up, 2 hits and a run scored. Jumped his batting average all the way up to 340, and that is right there among the league leaders, if not in fact leading the pack. Kirby gone after only 3 1/3 innings today. Madlock takes it well inside from Bourbon. Reds bullpen not getting a great deal of work lately. Swung on, and that's grounded to Joe. Throw to first, 2 out. Back-to-back ground balls to second off the bats of Champ Summers and Billy Madlock. Rick Mundy, the 2-out hitter in the 5th inning. Fly to right and pop to short. Dodgers losing 4-2 today at Philadelphia. Reds winning the first game, a game up on them, and hopefully can come back here in the second game and move a game and a half out in front. Swing and a miss. And Bourbon simply threw that into the mid of Bill Plummer before Mundy had a good cut at it. One ball and 1 strike. I would imagine that ball might be just a bit tough to pick up at this stage of the game. Here's a fly ball hammered to left center. Foster going to his right, and he makes the catch to end the inning. 3 up and 3 down. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. The Cubs 3 and the Cincinnati Reds 2.
Feeling free, feeling free.
There's a feeling around, it's America's sound. Happy people feeling free.
Free to choose a new way, free to stand up and say, you be you and I'll be me.
What does feeling free mean to you?
Playing tennis.
Roller skating.
Flying a kite?
Sing.
Playing soccer?
Meditating.
Standing on my head?
Playing hopscotch.
Diving into the ocean.
Not having any bills.
Join the birthday people. Feeling free, feeling free. Join the birthday people. Feeling free, feeling free. All across the nation, it's a fancy generation. Here today, here to stay, feeling free.
We'll be setting the top of the order up here in the home 5th inning. Pete Rose, who's 0 for 2 in the game against the throwing of left-hander Jeff Zahn, will start it off. Zahn has given us but 4 hits, and that was the total complete in the first game. Cubs out hitting us 8-4 and still winning on Bench's home run 2-1. Pete has been thrown out 1-6-3 on a hot smash up the middle, deflected by Zahn in the first inning, and then hit into an inning-ending force play on Kirby in the second. Rose batting an even .290 as he steps in. Here's the pitch to him, and it's taken on the inside at the letters for a strike. Swung on and hit into left field, a base hit for Pete. Rose hitting that one off the end of the bat. 5th Cincinnati hit, and now Dave Concepcion up with a potential tie-in run on at first base. Davey 0 for 2. Then thrown out 6-3, sparing to Thornton and popped out to Thornton and foul ground in the 3rd inning. Eddie Watt will resume his activity in the Chicago bullpen. David with a 9-game hitting streak stopped in the first game and now looking for his first hit in the doubleheader. The pitch to him. Fastball missing. Atlanta and New York into extra innings at Shea Stadium, tied up at 6 apiece. Single game there today. Swung on, pop foul, heading back behind the Reds dugout and in. Mad scramble for that ball. A ball and a strike. Joe Morgan now moving on deck. We've got Rose at first. 3-2 Chicago, 5th inning. Zahn again goes to taking a great deal of time. He had an easy inning of it in the 4th. He throws on to first, and Pete steps back ahead of the throw. Cub outfield straight away. Davey waiting on the 1-1. Takes it too low a ball. Concepcion has driven in 27 runs. He has 3 homers and has had 5 game-winning hits. That's second only to Joe Morgan's 7. Rose has 5. Perez 4. Bench, his home run of the first game, gave him 2 game-winning hits this season. High and inside, 3-1. Now, should Zahn lose Concepcion, a lot of good things could happen. Morgan, Bench, Perez coming up. Well, the Cub bullpen has been going. I'd like to dip into that one again. Swing and a miss. Saw a full count. Eddie Watt working, getting ready. If Jim Marshall sees fit to go that way. Zahn trying to protect a one-run lead. Checking Rose, leading at first. He goes. The pitch is swung on, hit to deep right center field. Mundy going back to the plate, looking up. It's off the wall. Here comes Rose. He gets the green light. Trillo takes the throw, and no throw to the plate. It's a tie game on a David double. He hit that ball and hit it well off the fence in right center field. Rose was moving, and as a result, scores all the way from first base to tie the game. Davey delivers home his 28th RBI of the year, and now Joe Morgan will try to fracture this 3-3 tie. He has singled, walked, stolen 2 bases, and scored a run. The pitch on the way, and it is bunted foul. Morgan, with his 2 steals today, should lead the National League, dependent upon what Cedeno has been doing in Houston. Joe and Cedeno were tied before today with 24 apiece. Morgan has had 2. Zahn checking Concepcion. The 0-1 pitch. Bunted foul off the third base line. It's strike 2. So a 2-strike count on Morgan as he has tried twice in vain to put a bunt down. Nobody out with a run home to tie the game up. Single by Pete Rose, a double high off the wall in right center by Dave Concepcion. Zahn going to work again against Morgan. He comes set, he throws. Joe takes a fastball high. Here's the final score in the National League. Padres over the Expos 5-2. Cardinals leading Houston 4-1 there in the ninth. Final score 5-1. St. Louis winning it. Morgan bounces this one off of his foot, rolling into fair ground. And plate umpire Bob Engel quickly calls it a foul ball. Takes a look at it and throws that one out of play and gives on a new one. Count holding at 1-2 on Joe Morgan. Long look back to second base. The pitch swung on and foul straight back. Doug Flynn has now started to loosen up in the Cincinnati bullpen. Morgan stays away from the plate just a bit longer than usual and now steps back in. See if Jeff Zahn will make another mistake. Ball 2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Johnny Bench on deck. Jeff Zahn in a world of trouble here in the 5th. Reds have tied it up. Go ahead, run at second. 2-2 count on Morgan. Joe swings and pops it up. Manny Trillo will play it in shallow right field. He has it, 1 down. Johnny Bench will be in, but Jim Marshall is on his way to the mound, and, well, do we got to look at the right-hander Eddie Watt, or will Zahn stay around and pitch to Bench? I would think not. Been a long, long series for the Chicago Cubs. They came in after having taken the last 2 games in a 3-game series with San Francisco. Proceeded to lose 5-1 Friday night. Gullett beat them 8-1 yesterday. Billingham got them, and 2-1 in the first game today with Nolan doing a number on them. It's going to be all for Jeff Zahn. Jim Marshall will go to his right-hander, the veteran Eddie Watt. So Zahn goes 4 1/3 innings. Allows the Reds 6 hits, all 3 runs in against him will go into the earned category. He struck out a hitter and walked 2. This for Eddie Watt will be appearance number 3 in the 4-game series. Looking at Eddie Watt's figures, and they are small indeed in terms of appearances. This is his 3rd in all 3 against Cincinnati after having had his contract purchased just 4 days ago from the Wichita Arrows, the Cubs AAA ball club in the American Association. No wins, losses, a 27 ERA. In 1 inning, he has given up a hit, 3 runs, and walked 3 batters. He had serious control trouble yesterday. Coming on to work the 6th inning, gave up a hit, walked 3, and had all 3 of those 6-inning runs charged against him. Although there were others who also had similar control problems. Frailing walked a hitter. In a 3rd of an inning, Bobby Locker walked a hitter and gave up 2 hits in an inning and 1/3. 3-3 the score. Cincinnati getting out in front 2-0 with a run in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd. The Cubs tying it with 3 in the 4th, and we have come back to tie it up here in the 5th on a single by Rose and a double by Concepcion. Morgan has popped out, and Eddie Watt will be working to Johnny Bench. Updating some scores in the 2nd game of that San Francisco-Pittsburgh doubleheader. Through 5, the Pirates lead at 2-1. Richie Hebner has had still another home run, his 2nd of the day, with a man out in the 5th inning. Atlanta and New York are tied at 6 apiece through 10 completed Shea. San Diego and Montreal tied 1-1 at the end of 2 in their 2nd game. Dave Freischleben against Steve Rogers. Padres won the first game 5-2, and the Cardinals have beaten Houston 5-1. Eddie Watt is ready to face Bench, who has bounced to 3rd and struck out swinging. The pitch to him, taking a ball too low. Base hit will send the Reds back out in front. There's a call strike, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Johnny Bench. One delivery, swung on a line, shot foul. Pass the bag at 3rd and on down to the Chicago bullpen. Ken Frailing, a left-hander, begins to throw. Bench with his 13th homer of the year and the game-winning blow in the first game. Now has 45 runs batted in this season. His closest pursuer before the doubleheader started today, Dave Winfield of San Diego with 30. Well, Luzinski with 39, Winfield with 38. Garvey had 37. Watt on in relief of Jeff Zahn. Out in front of Bench and pitching. Missing away, 2-2. David, a good lead at 2nd. Just missing with that pitch. Bench started to go, held up, full count. Watt toes the rubber. Looks into his catcher Mitterwald. 3-2 pitch. Swung on and pulled foul down the left field line and out of play. Well, the way Bench has been swinging the bat in the last few games, it's a safe bet to say that the shoulder problems that plagued him so long, an early season collision at the plate with San Francisco's Gary Matthews, are behind him now. Seems to be swinging free, and the result would be evidence to that statement. Here's a ground ball, base hit. Pitch hitting it the other way, and David is in to send the Reds up by a run. Well, they play that overshift of sorts against Bench, who normally is a dead pull hitter, and he simply punched that ball to the right side of the Chicago infield to get his 46th run batted into the air and give the Reds a 4-3 lead.
The pitch instead of trying to pull it, and if he continues that, why, he'll fess a few people up.
Tony Perez is 2 for 2. Ball to him. That RBI is the 8th for Johnny Bench in this series. Tony fouls it away. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 runs across. The Reds back up by a run. Eddie Watt working with Tony Perez. The 1-1 pitch. Swung on and fouled off the bat handle and out of play. Watt will rub up the new baseball as Perez waits patiently off the plate. Tony's upped his average to 225 with singles in the second and third. That third inning base hit produced a run for us. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Reds have now had 7 hits in the game, and Jeff Zahn's totals are complete. 4 in a third inning, 6 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned runs, 2 walks and a strikeout. There goes Bench. Pitch is bounced by third and a foul ball. Well, that was a near miss for Tony Perez. Johnny Bench got the green light to take off. He cuts back across the infield. Tony gets ready to wait on the 2-2 pitch from Eddie Watt. Watt again goes to taking a lot of time. Here he goes again. Bench stays this time, and that strike 3 call as Watt got it over away from Tony, and Perez knew it. Second out of the inning, and George Foster coming to the plate. Yahtzee has walked and popped out to third. Eddie Watt windmilling his right arm on the mound as Foster steps in. Reds 4, Cubs 3, still hitting in what has been so far a 2-run 5th inning. Call, strike 1. Both starting pitchers out inside of 5 full innings. Kirby went out in 3 1/3. There's a call, strike 2. Jeff Zahn's day ends after 4 1/3 innings. Well, Watt being made to have to wait on the mound by Foster. A strike 2 count. Pitch outside and low. 1-2. A right-hander has joined the left-hander Frailing down in the Cubs bullpen. Here's a 1-2 pitch. That's too low. Oscar Zamora is the right-hander throwing. Well, Eddie Watt checking in with a plate umpire, Bob Engel, to pick up the correct on George Foster. Johnny Bench leading at first base. And the pitch on the way. That gets by the catcher Mitterwall, and Bench will go in at second. Wild pitch has been charged to Eddie Watt. Oh, if Yahtzee can produce a hit in this situation, we will have a run cushion with which to work. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 in. Bench at second as a result of the wild pitch. Cub pitcher into the motion, delivers. Strike 3 call on the inside corner, and Foster is caught looking. In the inning for Cincinnati, statistically, 2 runs on 3 hits, a man left on, and after 5, the Reds 4, the Cubs 3.
Back in Detroit, there's something very interesting going on. What we're talking about is brewing love. And where it's happening is at the Stroh Brewery. Now you can see it all happening by taking a specially designed tour of the brewing operations, laboratories, and packaging facilities. The tour takes about 1 hour and is free of charge. The Stroh Brewery is located at the intersection of the Chrysler Freeway and Granton Avenue, only a few minutes from the heart of Detroit. Tours may be taken Monday through Friday, beginning at 11 in the morning and running every hour on the hour until 3 that afternoon. Please keep in mind that groups visiting the brewery be limited to a maximum of 15 persons. For additional information, you may contact the Stroh Brewery at the following number, area code 313-961-5840. So why don't you make plans right now to visit the Stroh Brewery and spend a little time with some loved ones. From one beer lover to another, the Stroh's Brewery Company, Detroit, Michigan, 48226. Family brewers for 200 years.
Well, Pedro Bourbon stands to get a win in this game if he can continue his work against the Chicago Cubs. He came on in the 4th inning and got the last 2 batters out after the Cubs had put 3 on the board against Kirby and then got them out in order in the 5th. Doug Flynn has come in to play second base, replacing Joe Morgan. The only change for the Cincinnati Reds. And the batter will be Andy Thornton to open up inning number 6. Thornton has popped to short, drawn a walk, has scored one of the Cubs' 3. Bourbon throws, and it's swung on and fouled. Right back over the screen and down into the crowd. Don't forget, tomorrow night, the Reds still home. In fact, 4 more games in this homestand. The Pirates tomorrow night at 8:05. 1-1 to Thornton. Freddie Norman and Jerry Royce will hook up. They'll be back Tuesday night, and then Wednesday and Thursday, the Cardinals will make their first visit to Riverfront Stadium. Here's a fly ball hit back into deep left center field. Looking up, and that ball is off the wall. Here's Foster quickly throwing into the infield, and nobody covering the bag. Both Flynn and Concepcion had gone out toward the outfield, and a 2-base hit for Andy Thornton to start the 6th inning.
I think Andy had that one chalked up the HR total.
Well, he had gone into that home run tried as he left home plate and then realized the ball did not get out. But still a 2-base hit for Thornton, the tie and run in scoring position for Jerry Morales. Morales got the Cubs scoring underway in the 4th inning after a single by Madlock and a walk to Thornton. He doubled off the fence in left center. Raleigh Eastwick will begin to loosen up again. Reds 4, Cubs 3. Pitch. In the dirt. Plummer digs it out. Ball 1. Now Plummer goes out of the mound, and we'll pause for station identification on the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network.
The home of the $5,000 button, WLW Cincinnati. Tickets for all Cincinnati Reds home dates are on sale before, during, and after every Reds game at Riverfront Stadium. On your next visit, pick up tickets at the advanced ticket window.
Bourbon dealing the 1-0 to Morales. He tries to bunt and fouls it at the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Runner at second is Andy Thornton, a double to start the inning. 6th Chicago hit in the game, and the first off of Bourbon. Kirby, the starter, went 3 1/3 innings, gave up all the Chicago runs on 5 hits. 2 balls and 1 strike. Bourbon, a quick worker. High pop. Infield. Pete Rose calling. He goes near the mound to play the ball. One away. Manny Trillo at the plate is 1 for 2. A base hit to score a run in the fourth. Talk so much about the starting pitching lately, how good it's been, but really, when Sparky has had to go to his bullpen more often than not in this recent surge for the Reds that have seen him win 15 out of 18, the relievers have done a job also. He brings a heavy fastball to the plate that Manny Trillo swings and misses on. One ball and a strike on a pitch below the knees. Thornton out at second base as Flynn and Concepcion play the cat and mouse game with him, a swing and a foul at the plate. The trio behind at Bourbon 1 and 2. And a large delegation of Rosie Reds here today. It's Rosie Reds Appreciation Day. Just missing outside, 2 and 2. Well, Bill Marshall's going to get his bullpen ready again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, 1 on. Another foul, this one off the face mask of the catcher Plummer. Oscar Zamora gets working again. Trio waiting. Bourbon throws. Here's a smash right side. Perez diving, comes up with a ball. That was a soft line drive hit midway between first and second base. And Perez with a diving catch of it to retire Manny Trillo. And fortunately for Thornton, he had not strayed too far off the bag at second. So 2 away in the inning. Bourbon a third of the way home toward leaving Thornton at second base after Andy had opened the inning with a double to left center field. Mitterwall has walked and singled a run in. It was his hit that brought about the ouster of Kirby. Strike 1 swinging. Petey checking, throwing, strike 2 on a swing and a miss. Both good fastballs, and Bourbon a strike away from ending the 6th. High and outside. Well, the Minnesota Twins have, at least today, stopped the Boston Red Sox Express 7-5, that final. The Yankees beat Chicago 4-1, so New York only 2 games back in the American League East. Struck him out swinging. Ball dropped by Plummer. He picks it up, throws on down to Perez to complete the strikeout and retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We're in the middle of the 6th inning. It's the Reds 4 and the Cubs 3.
You know, if you're like most people, you think all banks are pretty much alike. So when it came time for you to choose a bank, you probably didn't look too hard. Maybe you went to the bank nearest you for convenience. Or maybe you opened an account at a financial institution that gives away all sorts of free gifts. Or perhaps you were attracted by what's come to be known as free checking. But choosing the right bank is serious business, because when you open an account at a bank, you're actually buying that bank. Well, you put your money in it, don't you? So when it comes time for you to buy a banking service, we at First National would like to suggest you shop around. Compare services, security, people, reputation. Chances are you'll choose the First National Bank of Cincinnati. But the important thing is, you'll know you made the right choice.
First National Bank of Cincinnati.
exciting baseball is in store for Cincinnati Reds fans at Riverfront Stadium in the next few weeks. The Pirates and the Cardinals are in town this week. The Braves visit for 3 games the following week, and in late June, it's the Padres and the Astros. Stop by the Reds ticket agency nearest you. In Columbus at all central ticket office locations. In Dayton at Reich's downtown and Salem Mall. In Indianapolis at Ross and Babcock. In Lexington at Graves Cox. And in Louisville at S&M Sporting Goods. Bottom 3 batters in the Reds order. In the bottom of the 6th inning, Merv Retman will start it off. Fly to left and robbed of a base hit on a running catch by Morales in the 4th inning of Merv's line drive. Reds are up by the scant margin of 1, 4-3, as Eddie Watt throws and Retman takes ball 1. Joe Plummer, Pedro Bourbon to follow. Both bullpens, at least for the moment, quiet. Retman popping it up outside of first base. A play maybe for Andy Thornton. Over near the dugout and runs out of room. He ran into that fence in front of the Reds dugout about belt high. Completely bent over and now being helped into an upright position as the Chicago trainer comes out to take a look along with our trainer Larry Starr. I would imagine that, well, I don't know. I would think maybe just a wind was knocked out of him, but he appears to be limping.
Marty, I think Andy hit his knee against the railing, and his post through along the railing there, and quite possibly Andy banged his knee against that post, but apparently he's going to be all right, just the shock of it, but that fence doesn't move too much.
Making sure Andy Thornton is well enough to remain in the game, Jim Marshall has come out and now head on back to the dugout, and Thornton will stay in. A 1-1 the count on Merv Retman. Reds have had 7 hits in this game. The Cubs have had 6. Both clubs have played errorless baseball. 1-1 delivery. Too low, ball 2. Well, the Braves and the Mets are now in the 12th inning. Still tied at 6 apiece. Swung on, pop foul. Back behind the plate. Mitterwall coming back, and he'll not have a play. Pittsburgh out in front of San Francisco 2-1. They're in the 7th. The Pirates try to gain a split of that doubleheader. And in another twin bill at Montreal, the Expos lead the Padres 3-1 in the 4th. Montreal lost the first game 5-2. Full count. Watch 3-2 pitch. Grounded right side and through for a base hit. Ball just past the mound and out of the reach of Manny Trillo on into center field. Retman's first hit in the game. Bill Plummer has had a base hit to knock in a run, our first, back in the 2nd, and then bounced out to Andy Thornton at first base in the 4th inning. Be nice to add a couple of runs. Led 2-0, trailed 3-2, and then went out in front 4-3. That's our score in the 6th inning. Well, that Cub bullpen has been up and down in this game. Zamora back to start throwing. Call strike away from him.
Zamora is getting a lot of work without being in a ball game.
That's the absolute truth. He's gotten enough work already this season. One guy certainly can't complain about not getting any work, and has done a good job for Chicago. Checking the pitch. Retman goes. Pitch is swung on, popped up, looped into shallow left. A hit for Plummer. Here comes Retman. He'll try to go to third. The throw that way is not in time. It gets by the third baseman. And then picked up by the pitcher, but that'll allow Plummer to go to second base. It'll be a base hit for Plummer, an error on the left fielder, Champ Summers, that allows Plummer the extra base. That throw took Madlock off the bag. He had to go to foul ground to try and grab it. It got by him, then hit the wall in front of the Chicago dugout, rolled along it, finally picked up by Eddie Watt, but by that time, Plummer was standing on second base. And it looks like we're going to get a pinch hitter with runners at second and third and nobody out. Terry Crowley has selected a bat, and he's in the on-deck circle to bat for Bourbon. Well, we just gotten a report here in the radio booth that Joe Morgan left the game because of a bruised shoulder. That was the reason that Doug Flynn came on to play in the upper half of this inning.
Marty, Joe leaving the game was on the pickoff by Jeff Zahn, and Andy Thornton's throw hit Joe in the left shoulder, and that's where the problem popped up.
Chicago infield is in. Runners at second and third, none out. And Crowley, who has been our most productive pinch hitter this season, is in against Eddie Watt. A ball to him. Terry batting .412 and all in pinch hit situations. Has had 7 hits and 17 times up, 3 doubles, a run batted in. He's batting for Pedro Bourbon. Reds with a big opportunity in the 6th inning. Swung on and foul. 1-1. Pedro Bourbon goes 2 2/3 innings. He gives the Cubs 1 hit, and he chalks up a strikeout. Redmond at third, Plummer at second. None out, 1-1 to count on Crowley. Here's a pitch. Low and inside, a left-handed hitter at Crowley, 2-1. Watt back to the plate. That's ball 3 outside. Well, you've got Pete Rose on deck, and unless Watt can get a pitch over, he's going to be coming up, Pete is, in a bases-loaded situation. The 3-1. Swung on, hit into left field. It is a base hit. 1 run will score. Here's Plummer coming on to third, sliding safely, and Crowley with a pinch single to left makes it 5-3 our side. Well, Terry Crowley, who has been called on many times early in the season, but not a great deal lately, comes through in the clutch here in the 6th. He gives way to pinch runner Ed Armbruster at first base. Jim Marshall coming to the mound, and that's probably going to be all for Eddie Watt. Watt gave up a hit to Rettenman, a single to Plummer on the hit and run. Ball that just dropped in over the outstretched glove of Don Kessinger. Summers threw Wiley at third base, allowing Plum to go to second. And now Crowley is single into left field, getting Rettenman home with a 5th Cincinnati run. On will be right-hander Oscar Zamora.
Well, this is kind of a strange... I haven't seen that in a long while. That's the way Hornsby used to take pitchers up. Marshall hadn't gone to the mound yet. Left Eddie Watt standing there and just calmly looked down the bullpen and slapped his right arm. Zamora comes on. There's going to be 2 changes. Tim Hosley, it looks like, is going to go in to catch, and the new pitcher is Zamora, but Marshall, he didn't say a word.
So Oscar Zamora on. He has seen other duty in this series. Yesterday worked 1 inning, gave up 1 hit. This is second appearance in the series, and as Joe mentioned, Tim Hosley becomes a new Chicago catcher, which means that Hosley will be hitting in the number 9 spot in the Chicago batting order, and pitcher Zamora will be hitting in the number 8 position. Hosley will be leading off the 7th inning. 5-3 Cincinnati. Run in here in the 6th inning, still nobody out with runners at first and third. Zamora making appearance number 20. He has a 3-1 record with a 2.57 earned run average and also 6 of the 13 saves that Chicago pitching has accumulated. In fact, he has 6 and Darrell Knowles has 6, so they've been the tandem out of the Cubs bullpen this season. Raleigh Eastwick, still working in the Cincinnati bullpen, will be our pitcher. In the top of the 7th, Bourbon, 2 2/3 innings, gives up a hit, strikes out a batter, and as we pointed out, he stands to be the winning pitcher in this game. 3 straight hits, Renton, Plummer, and a pinch single by Terry Crowley to score run number 5 and give the Reds a 2-run cushion. Pete Rose in the on-deck circle waiting to hit. He's 1 for 3 in the game with a single leading off the 5th inning and scored a run. Zamora still taking his warm-ups while Tim Hosley gets the catching gear on in the Cub dugout. He's coming on now. Pete asked plate umpire Bob Engel if we're ready to resume play again. Engel says let him throw a couple down to Hosley and then we'll get back at it. The pitcher and catcher will talk things over. Ken Frayling still throwing for Chicago in their bullpen. 50,311 today for a doubleheader that may well turn out to be a Cincinnati sweep if things continue to go right. Not only a sweep of the Twin Bill, but a sweep of the 4-game series against a Chicago team that came in here on top of the heap in the Eastern Division, the National League. Okay, Pete is in. Here we go again. First and third, none out. Rose takes ball 1 high from Zamora. Eastwick finishing up, comes out of the Cincinnati dugout. Cubs infield in. And Rose looks at a strike, 1-1. Cubs coming back to Cincinnati in August for night games, Monday and Tuesday night, the 11th and 12th. I'll mark those dates down. Two balls and a strike to Pete Rose. Up next will be Dave Concepcion. Armbruster running for Crowley at first. Plummer at third. 5-3 Reds. 6th inning. Rose swings and pops it foul and into the seats left side. Level the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Zamora looking into Hosley. Throws, Armbruster goes, pitches grounded foul. Ed Armbruster getting the go sign at first base. Rose with a foul ball. Eddie comes back, and the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Okay, Zamora stretches. Armbruster goes again. That is outside. Ball 3, and Armbruster in at second base without benefit of a throw. He has a stolen base. It's his second of the year. So with that steal, a hit will score a pair. Rose hits a high fly ball into center field. That's going to be deep enough to get Plummer in. Mundy sets. He makes the catch. Here's a tag. Plummer coming home. Armbruster going to third in safely. 6-3. Two runs in the inning, and the batter will be Dave Concepcion, who doubled the right center in the fifth to tie the game up off of Chicago starter Jeff Zahn. And with third base still occupied by Ed Armbruster now, the Cub infield stays in with one man out. That run charged to the departed Eddie Watt. David takes a curveball high from the right-hander. Dougie Flynn is on deck. He'll be getting his first at-bat in the game. One-0 pitch. Call strike. Zamora glancing at third base. Swing and a miss by Concepcion, and he's behind 1-2. 3 straight hits for 1 run and a sacrifice fly with another run home. Reds have scored 2 runs in each of the last 2 innings and still batting here in the 6th with a chance at getting another one. Strike 3 call. Concepcion can't believe it. He finally does, and now leaves the plate as Doug Flynn comes up. Say, Concepcion stood around so long at the plate, I thought I'd miscalculated on the count. Looked like he was going to stay around for another pitch.
I wanted to make sure. Well, maybe Mr. Engel has changed his decision.
Yeah. Here's a strike to Flynn. Doug hitting .244 has 1 homer and 5 runs batted in. Strike 2 is there. Cub infield back now at normal depth with 2 men out. Hey, this young man has really been a very valuable addition to this club. He's played well. The times in which he has started games, which have been, of course, very few, he's come up with some big hits for us. 1-2 the count on him. Zamora trying to get the final out of the inning. Armbruster at third. Flynn looks at a call, third strike, and that's the inning. For Cincinnati, 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 error, 1 left. After 6 full, it's a Reds 6 and the Cubs 3. Sparky Anderson came out of the Reds dugout after Doug Flynn had been called out on strikes and spent a couple of minutes giving plate umpire Bob Engel a piece of his mind over, I'm sure, not only the calls to Flynn, but also to Concepcion. That little conversation is now broken up. We've got a new pitcher on the mound as the Cubs come to bat in the 7th inning. Back to tell you about him and call the action again, Joe Nuxall.
All right, Marty, it's Raleigh Eastwick making his 6th appearance, running 4 RBIs. Hosley, Sparing, and Summers due up for the Cubs in the 7th. Reds leading at 6-3. Eastwick delivers a fastball, misses inside. Pedro Bourbon worked 2 2/3 innings, allowing 1 hit and striking out 1. Stands now, Pedro would be the winner. Strike in at the knees from Eastwick to Hosley, 1-1 to count. Reds have out hit the Cubs 10-6. Eastwick delivers, Hosley swings, ground ball by, Rose into left field, base hit. Bench up with the ball, returns to the infield, and that is hit number 7 for Chicago, the first off Raleigh Eastwick. That brings Rob Sparring to the plate. And boy, I tell you, this guy has to wonder what you have to do to get a base hit. He tried Rose twice with line drives. Decided, well, no luck there. They took a shot at Merv Redmond his last time up, and Merv made an outstanding defensive play to retire him. First pitch is high and inside. Sparring leans away. 1-0. Eastwick delivers. That's swung on and popped in his shallow center. Going out is Flynn. Doug backpedaling. Has room. Makes the catch. Flynn at second base. Here's Champ Summers, 0 for 3. He's twice hit fly balls to center and is grounded to second. Joe Morgan taken out of the lineup in the sixth inning. Joe hit in the back in the left shoulder by a throw from Andy Thornton. And, boy, I tell you, they hit you in the right spot there. It gets quite sore. Pitch to Champ Summers, gets the inside or outside corner, called strike. Clay Carroll in the Cincinnati bullpen throwing. The 0-1. Just under the knees, count evens 1-1. Now they're still at it in New York. The Braves and the Mets tied 6-6, 13th inning. 1-1. Summers swings and chops it foul at the plate. Raleigh out in front, a ball, 2 strikes to Summers. Tim Hosley at first base with 1 away. Tony Perez plays a couple of steps behind Hosley. Eastwick looking into Plummer the stretch. The 1-2 pitch. High and outside. Count evens 2-2. The Reds jumped in front 2-0. A run in the second, a run in the third. The Cubs came back with 3 in the fourth to take a 1-run lead. The Reds right back with 2 in the fifth, 2 in the sixth, and they lead it 6-3. Now the 2-2 pitch swung on, and that's bounced foul off to the right. Hound holding at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, the Pirates trying to hang on to split a doubleheader with the Giants. 2-2 again. That swung on, again bounced foul. Pirates leading the Giants 2-1 in the 9th inning. Giants winning the first game 3-1. Two balls, 2 strikes to count. Bill Madlock on deck. He's had a hot bat. There's a swing ground ball. Perez has it. He goes to Concepcion. 1 throwback to first, not in time. And they get the force of Hosley at second base. The play going 3-6. 2 away now, and stepping in is Bill Madlock. Madlock is 2 for 3. In the first game, he had 3 hits and 4 times to the plate, so he's had 5 hits so far in the doubleheader. His last time up, we got him out, though. He grounded to Morgan at second base in the 5th inning. The outfield playing Madlock straight away. Eastwick sets and delivers. Madlock takes just low ball. Right now, the sun is shining through the upper deck and right on home plate. As John pointed out yesterday in the start of the game, here's the pitch. Swung on and pulled foul off the third baseline. On evens 1-1, that the backdrop out in center field in the seats, I guess, caused more problems than maybe the shadows. 1-1 the count. Eastwick delivers, and Madlock looks at it. It's low. 2-1. The Reds with 10 hits, the Cubs with 7. 1 error in the ball game, and that belongs to Champ Summers. The Cubs. 2-1 delivery. Low and outside. 3 balls to strike now to Matlock. Waiting on deck is Rick Mundy. There are 2 outs. Eastwick's 3-1 pitch. Matlock swings and misses a high fastball. Full count. Well, Summers at first base will be on the move with the pitch with the count full and 2 away. Well, there's some all-star ballots flying around. Here's the 3-2. Swung on and bounced to Perez at first. He waves Eastwick away, goes to the bag, and retires. The Cubs here in the 7th, no runs. They get a hit. There were no errors. 1 runner left on base. And at the middle of the 7th, the Reds 6, the Cubs 3.
People I see every day stop me on the street and say, "You're looking good, girl. Who put the sunshine in your world?" So I tell them about your laughter, lighten up my cloudy day, and the feeling of contentment that I know. The way you make me feel like wanting on a peaceful night at home, while we're sharing loving thoughts over the great taste of straw. You make me know that I'm looking good. You can't stop a good thing like the taste of Stroh's beer, brewed with family pride for 200 years. From
That was Kelly Garrett for the Stroh Brewery Company, Detroit, Michigan. Family brewers for 200 years.
Before the Reds come up to plate in the bottom half of the inning, we'll pause for station identification. This is the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network.
The home of the $5,000 button, WLW Cincinnati. The Cincinnati Reds 580 gift shop and newsstand is open before every Reds home game. Stop by on your next trip to the stadium. 580 gets the news, 6th and Walnut downtown.
Johnny Bench to lead it off for the Reds in the 7th. John is 1 for 3 and an RBI. John singled in the 5th inning when the Reds scored a couple of runs to go back in front. Zamora's first pitch is blowing outside a ball. Oscar into the wind, and the 1-0 delivery swung on, shot by the shortstop into left center field. Over is Mundy, gets by him, and on his way to second is Bench, and he'll hold right there. And we'll wait and see. Mundy went a long way after the ball, and we'll see if they give him a double. Apparently, well, we'll just wait. And they're going to give Johnny Bench a double, and for John, that is his 17th double of the year. John's second hit of the game. Well, Bench at second base, leading off here in the 7th, Tony Perez at the plate. Tony is 2 for 3 and an RBI. Bench and Johnny Grubb now tied for the league lead in doubles with 17. John leads the National League in home runs, RBIs, tied for doubles. Bench at second leads. Zamora sets and delivers to Perez. That's swung on, and that could be number 8. Going back, and there she goes. Tony Perez really wrapped that one, and no doubt about it, Zamora very upset with himself, but a big one for Tony, and we now lead it by a score of 8-3. Tony Perez, his 8th home run of the year, and those 2 RBIs gave him 3 for the game and a total of 34. Tony really jarred that one. Second hit off Zamora. And both runs, of course, charged to Oscar. He put them on. All right, here's George Foster. George 0 for 2 and a walk. Swings and misses. Slider, 0-1. And the Reds leading it now 8-3. 12 hits for the Reds. Zamora works, Foster swings, and pops it foul back at us. And if we hear a cheer, we know it's caught. If we don't, there's a scramble. And apparently there's a scramble. Zamora out in front, 0-2 to George Foster. The 0-2 delivery. Just missing low and outside. 1-2. Cesar Geronimo loosening up in the Reds bullpen, and he'll undoubtedly go to center field. Foster takes low. Count evens 2 balls, 2 strikes. Freddie Norman and Jerry Royce tomorrow night here at Riverfront. 2-2 pitch, swung on, bounced up the middle, off the glove of Zamora, sparing up with it. Quick throw, and they got it. So Zamora just getting the tip of his glove on it and deflecting it just a bit towards Sparing and shortstop. Rob up with it and got the throwaway in a hurry for the first out. If you're scoring, your play goes 1-6-3 on Foster, 1 away. And Merv Rettenman to the plate. Rettenman 1 for 3. He's hit the ball hard each time up. First pitch to him is down low, a ball. For Zamora, this is his 20th appearance of the year. Rettenman swings, hits one deep to left field. Going back as Summers reaches up, makes the one-handed catch right in front of the 275 marker. And I'll tell you, Merv Rettenman has been tapping that ball hard. So 2 away now, and that'll bring Bill Plummer to the plate. Bill is 2 for 3 and an RBI. And the last time up in the 6th inning had a hit-and-run single, a little looper over Sparing into left field with Rettenman at first base. 2 outs, the base is empty. Zamora delivers, and Plum looks at it outside the ball. Raleigh Eastwick on deck. 8-3, Reds lead. The 1-0. Plum swings on it, doesn't get it, 1-1. The Reds win this one. It'll be the second doubleheader that we've swept this year. Give us 34 wins and 22 losses. Plum swings and fouls one right over our head. And down it goes. One and 2 the count. Zamora works. Plummer takes. Low and outside. Count evens 2-2. A wind, the 2-2 to Plummer. Swung on and hit the left field, and Summers is there backpedaling, and about a step from the warning track, hauls it in. So in the inning for the Reds, they get 2 runs on 2 hits. A big one, a 2-run homer by Tony Perez. No errors, no one left on base. And after 7, the Reds 8, the Cubs 3.
Stop and enjoy a big boy, a Double Jack hamburger treat. The national favorite, coast to coast, so stop and enjoy a big boy.
Watching the Reds win at Riverfront Stadium has always been a great way to spend the day. And one sure way to add to that enjoyment is going to Frisch's before or after the game. It's all part of the tradition. Why Frisch's? Because not only does Frisch's offer a wide variety of great-tasting treats from sandwiches to full-course dinners, they also have the convenience of curb service. When you drive into Frisch's, there is never any waiting for curb service. You simply press the button on the speaker, and your order is taken immediately. Fast, easy, and convenient. That's the best way to describe Frisch's curb service. So the next time you're on your way to the game, curb your appetite. Visit your nearest Frisch's drive-in restaurant.
Stop and enjoy a big boy, a Double Jack hamburger treat. the national favorite, coast to coast. So stop and enjoy a big, big toy.
Well, the 7-inning totals look like this. The Reds have had 8 runs on 12 hits, and the Cubs have had 3 runs on 7 hits. Rick Mundy will lead it off in the 8th, and back for the action, Marty Brenneman.
Rick Mundy 0 for 3 in the game. His last time up, he had a line drive to Foster in center field back in the 5th inning. Raleigh Eastwick, the third pitcher to work in this game for the Reds, with Clay Kirby, the starting pitcher. Going 3 1/3, Pedro Bourbon working 2 2/3 innings of 1-hit shutout baseball, and it is Pete who stands to get the win if this 5-run Reds lead stands up over the next inning and a half. Mundy to be followed by Andy Thornton and Jerry Morales. Eastwick giving up a base hit to catcher Tim Hosley starting off the 7th inning, but nothing after that. And now we've got a change in center field. Cesar Geronimo has come in defensively, replacing George Foster. Tall, lanky Raleigh Eastwick working to Mundy, and he grounds him to the right side. There's Flynn, and there's Perez. 1 away. Thornton is 1 for 2 with a walk. He doubled back in the 6th inning, walked and scored a run in the 4th, and popped out to shortstop in the 2nd. Eastwick working, and it's taken low and inside, ball 1. A big, big day for Cincinnati up to this point. No question about that. Call strike at the knees, 1-1. Outfield straight away for Andy Thornton, who hit the ball very well in the 6th inning. Eastwick keeping it down to him, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Meanwhile, at Shea Stadium, the Mets are batting in the bottom of the 14th inning, tied with the Atlanta Braves at 6 apiece. Ball 3, 3-1. Thornton out of the batter's box. Now Eastwick checks in with Plummer. Here's a 3-1 delivery. That's swung on and missed. Got the pitch up to him, and Thornton had the home run cut, but he did not get it. That's ball 4 low. Andy Thornton becomes the second man to reach on right-hander Eastwick. 1 down in the inning with first base occupied, and Jerry Morales coming in. Flied out, double a run in, and popped out to third base. It's third walk given up by Reds pitching in this game. Kirby gave up 2, Bourbon none. Call strike 1. Fastball. One ball, a strike. Plummer digging it out. Second game of the San Diego-Montreal doubleheader. It's the Padres trailing the Expos by a score of 3-1 after 5.5. San Francisco 3 runs in the 9th inning to take a 4-2 lead over Pittsburgh, and now the Giants are bidding to pick a pair. Here's a shot back into left field. Going back is Bench, looking up. It is out of here, a home run. Jerry Morales with a 2-run home run to left field to draw the Cubs to within 3 runs. It's now 8-5. That for Jerry Morales, his second home run of the year. He has 3 RBIs in this game, and the Cubs are down by 3 as they reach Raleigh Eastwick for the 2-run homer. Here's Manny Trillo as Clay Carroll goes down to start throwing. Ball 1. Ball strike. The outside corner, a ball, 1 strike to Trillo, who has had a hit, an RBI, and 3 times up. Last time at that soft line drive between first and second, Perez made a fine play on it. Call strike 2. Cubs have had 8 hits. The Reds have had 12. We lead by 3 with 1 out and 2 runs in. Bases empty in the Chicago 8th. There's a pop on the left side. Rose calling for it. Concepcion coming over by him and calling Pete off the ball. David makes the catch. 2 away. Pitcher scheduled a hit, but Pete Lecoq will be the Chicago pinch hitter. Lecoq, who started in the first game in right field, went 0 for 4, has had 1 hit in 6 times up in the series, a pinch single yesterday's game. Left-handed batting outfielder, first baseman, hitting .238. Cubs with 2 runs. Cubs with 2 runs in the 8th on a walk to Thornton and a home run to left field by Morales. Lecoq looks at a fastball away.
Line on Zamora, 2 innings pitched, 2 runs over the line, 2 hits, no walks, 2 strikeouts.
Ground ball over the mound. Oh, spared by Eastwick. Nice play and throwing on to Tony to retire Pete Lecoq. In the inning, 2 runs, a hit, nobody left, and in the middle of the 8th inning, it's the Reds 8, the Chicago Cubs 5.
If you think howdy, partner, and buenos dias sound like pretty friendly ways to greet a Red Rooter from Cincinnati, the Stroh Brewery has some friendly news for you. On Saturday, June 21st, the Reds Rooters Club is off for Houston, Mexico City, and Acapulco. The point being to watch the Reds whip the Astros for 2 days in a row down in Houston, and then to join in a Mexican fiesta later in the week. On Saturday night and Sunday, the Reds versus the Astros, and, of course, a fine Stroh's hospitality party at your hotel in Houston. Then on Monday, June 23rd, everybody flies down to Mexico City for some really great sightseeing. Friday, June 27th, you'll find yourself in Acapulco for fun in the sun, including a yacht cruise of Acapulco Bay. On Sunday, June 29th, you'll jet back to Cincinnati. For complete information and reservations, call the Barney Rapp Agency at area code 513-381-7277. Once again, 381-7277. Just shout, Olé, or better yet, Stroh's.
Cincinnati Reds will be teaming up with Bob Braun for a big special at Riverfront Stadium. The date is Tuesday, June 17th. There'll be a clinic at Riverfront at 11 o'clock in the morning, and the Bob Braun show will follow. No charge for admission, but you must have a ticket. Send a stamped, self-addressed envelope with your ticket request to Reds Bob Braun Day, Box 5050, Cincinnati. Left-hander Ken Frayling is the new Chicago pitcher as the Reds come to bat for hopefully the last time today. We're leading 8-5 in the bottom of the 8th. And pitcher Raleigh Eastwick is standing in to get the inning underway. Frayling delivers, and Eastwick takes strike 1. Frayling, the 4th pitcher. Zahn, Watt, Zamora. Strike 2 on a swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes. Hosley sets a target on the outside part of the plate. The pitch comes that way but misses. 1 ball, 2 strikes as pitcher faces pitcher in the bottom of the 8th inning. There's a swing and a miss, strike 3. Ball pops out of Hosley's mitt. Or is it a strike swinging? Yes, it is. Throw on down to first base. So Eastwick a strikeout, and now Pete Rose will be at the plate. Rose is 1 for 3 with a sacrifice fly coming in the 6th inning. Pitch to Pete is taken on the outside edge for strike 1. Missing away, 1-1. Two balls and 1 strike on Pete Rose. Reds only 3 outs away, the top of the 9th inning, from sweeping the doubleheader and taking 4 straight from Chicago to move a game and a half out in front of the Dodgers in the Western Division. There's a strike to him, 2-2. Dave Concepcion waiting on deck. Trailing, Rose swung on, fly ball, right field, and out of play. Mosley, a former product of the Detroit Tiger organization, most recently with the Oakland A's, is ready to get the 9th inning started. 8-5 the score. Eastwick trying to nail it down. A 3rd win of the year for Pedro Bourbon if he can subdue him here in the 9th. He winds, delivers, and Hosley takes ball 1 away. One-0 pitch, taken outside, a ball, 2-0. Actually, both of these games have been come from behind efforts for Cincinnati. We trail 1-0 in the first game before Bench's homer in the 7th inning. And we were behind at 1 point in this one. There is ball 3 outside. Of course, it's not over yet. Eastwick is yet to throw a strike. 3 balls and nothing on right-handed batting Tim Hosley. Rob Sperring on deck. There's a call strike. This would be the 2nd doubleheader win of the year for Cincinnati and the 4th twin bill we've played. Ball 4 low. Eastwick walks his 2nd batter. In 2+ innings of pitching, he'll face Sperring. At least he's a schedule hitter, but he's been called back, and it looks like Cardinal is going to be the Chicago pinch hitter. Cardinal playing the first game. Started out the day batting .326 with 5 homers and 26 RBIs, but wore a size 4 collar in game number 1. So his average standing at .320 as he comes up in a pinch hit role against Eastwick. Tell you, the Cubs threw quite a scare into us in the first game. They loaded the bases in the 9th inning down by a run, but Gary Nolan got Kessinger and a line out to center field to win that one. Cardinal taking a lot of time before stepping in. He talks momentarily with the plate umpire Bob Engel. Hosley on at first. Leadoff walk. Cardinal bangs a bat on the plate. He's ready, and so is Raleigh. Swung on, ground ball, fair ball at third, throw on to second. They got the force out of Tim Hosley, who came in pretty hard on Doug Flynn, and credit to Rook with hanging right in there. We'll pause for station identification on the Reds Baseball Network.
The home of the $5,000 button, WLW Cincinnati. Purchase your Cincinnati Reds tickets downtown at 580 Walnut and at the stadium, at Burkhart's in Kenwood, Tri-County, Beachmont, Hyde Park, and Northgate, and at Home Federal Savings in Western Hills.
Sparky Anderson has come out of the Reds dugout, and he signals that he wants another pitcher to come in and try and finish this one off. It'll be left-hander Will McInerney. Raleigh Eastwood goes 2 1/3 innings. He allows the Cubs a couple of hits, 2 runs. No strikeouts and 2 walks, and it'll be McInerney. And we talk about the work this young man has given us every time he comes in. Has worked 21 2/3 consecutive innings without allowing a run. That's dating back to the 20th of April. The string covers 15 appearances. McInerney with the lowest earned run average on the club of 104. A 1-0 record, and this is 21st appearance. Bourboin, with an appearance earlier in the game, now leads the pitching staff with 22. Clay Carroll has 21, and now McInerney has his 21st. Champ Summers scheduled a hit, but Ron Dunn is swinging 2 bats in the on-deck circle, so apparently he will be a pinch hitter. Dunn, a right-handed batter, as opposed to the left-handed swinging Summers. Reds out in front, 8-5. Been an especially big second game for one Tony Perez. He marked his return to the Reds lineup for the first time in almost 2 weeks in Game 1, one hitless, but here in the second game he has singled twice, homered, and 4 times up to knock in 3 runs. McInerney indicates that he is ready to work, and it's going to be Ron Dunn coming on to pinch hit. Young Dunn, batting .231, has 1 homer and 4 runs batted in for this 1975 Cub edition. McInerney checking Cardinal at first base. The pitch to Dunn, a ball outside. Well, everything else now over, except San Diego, Montreal. They're still underway besides ours here. 2 balls and no strikes. Clay Carroll still throwing. There's a strike to him, 2-1. Don't forget to stay tuned immediately following our game broadcast on most of these same stations. Joe Nuxall with the Star of the Game show, and I'll be back to recap all the scores of all the games on Scores and Comments. Fly ball left field, hit well, bench backing. He reaches up and makes the catch. Well, not the most artistic endeavor in the world, but he made the play on it. That ball was hooking on John as it left the infield. He went back, reached up, and there it was, 2 away. Cubbies coming down to their final out, and the batter will be third baseman Bill Madlock as he bids to keep the 9th inning going. Madlock 2 for 4. McInerney working. Madlock hits a shot. Pete has it at third, and this one belongs to the Reds. Here in the 9th inning for the Chicago Cubs, who have just been swept 4 straight by the Cincinnati Reds. No runs, no hits, a man left on. Your final score in game number 2. The Reds 8, the Cubs 5. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a moment.
The folks at the Stroh Brewery want to remind you that it's Stroh party time. And they also want to give you a free recipe on how to Stroh a party. So, here goes. First, Get yourself some good music like this. Next, add some good friends and neighbors. Spread around some good snacks like potato chips, pretzels, things your friends like, or be different, and surprise them with something new and good. Then top everything off with plenty of good cold Stroh's beer. That's the important part. Blend it all together, and you've got yourself one great party. Keep this in mind the next time you're out shopping, and look for the Stroh Party display featuring our Stay Cold 12-pack wherever you buy beer. And we'll see you at the party. The Stroh Brewery Company, Detroit, Michigan.
Well, the Sunday afternoon doubleheader before a capacity house of 50,311. They've seen the Reds take a pair from the Chicago Cubs, 2-1 in the first game on Johnny Bench's 13th homer of the year in the 7th with a man on base. And here in the second, another come-from-behind win for the Reds, 8-5 the final score. As Pedro Bourbon, working in relief of Clay Kirby, the second of 4 pitchers, as it turned out in this game for our Reds, becomes a winner. He's 3-1. Will McEnany gets a save, his 4th. And Jeff Zahn, the Chicago starter, was a losing pitcher. His record goes to 1-3. 8 runs, 13 hits, no errors, 7 left for the Reds. 5 runs, 8 hits, an error, and 7 stranded for Chicago. So the Reds go 34-22 on the year. Boy, we've come home to take a pretty good ball club 4 straight, with, of course, the Pittsburgh Pirates coming in tomorrow night for the first of a 2-game series. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more in just a moment.